Are we the OPE podcast now?
Oh, mate, we should probably have thought of that before we started. Yeah, I guess so.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Again. It's been like a year. So should we just be like, welcome. This is the new podcast.
This is season 2.
We did 4 episodes.
4.
We did 4 episodes last year when Remy was really small. He's 1 now. Jax is just over 3.5. We're slowly getting our life together. Very slowly.
Very slowly.
So yeah, welcome again. We've changed our business name.
Yep.
From Fitility to Ocean Phoenix Energy. So subscribe, follow, like, share, on all the things at Ocean Phoenix Energy. On one of the latter episodes of the last ones we did, I was unsure on the name and I had mentioned that.
We both were.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, but it didn't like this. We just fell in love with Ocean Phoenix Energy. We just fell in love with it straight away, didn't we? And we're just like, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Once we knew it, once we heard it, we were like, right.
I think like we wanted to make it like that it's us, but then also didn't want it to be too niche either.
Yeah.
Keep it broad.
I mean, it's just words, isn't it? But they mean something to us, and I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Ocean is Jax's middle name, Phoenix is Remy's middle name, and if we have a slice of their energy, we're all going to just be fine. Yeah. So yeah, OPE.
OPE.
That's what we are for short.
We did record a whole podcast explaining this when it kind of like, not that this needs explaining.
It was like half an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it didn't record, so that's great. We're pretty sure we're recording now.
Well, we've just had like technical difficulties with all this, haven't we? Hence the new mics. Hi, guys.
I feel like every time we talk about we've got technical difficulties, I feel like makes me sound really old, like I can't figure out how to start a podcast, which, yeah, obviously I find that embarrassing because I should be able to figure it out.
I know we got fancy mics now and a mixer thing.
I know.
What is that?
Let's not touch it because we've got it to work, so I think we should just leave that.
Should we just dive straight in because we don't want to procrastinate too much. We want to keep people listening.
We'll give you chapters if you've... I mean, it's a bit late for that now, but this is where the aggressive diet chat starts. No one cares about the first however minutes. We're talking about the bloody business name.
Well, they need to know where to find us. Anyway, so if you've been following us on Instagram, which I assume you are, and if you aren't, come on down, you'll know that I have been doing what we call an AGGY D for the last 20 days. Today's day 24 of 30. An AGGY D is our way of shortening the word aggressive diet. And I'm kind of giving it a good go. I felt like my weight loss had kind of stagnated a little bit. I'd lost my mojo with it. I felt like I knew what I was doing. It was almost like too comfortable and I was just like letting all the minor things just slip by and whatever. But also we want to be able to offer this as part of one of our services when we open our books, essentially.
Such a weird saying, open the books.
We'll open our laptop.
Yeah.
Because we're in this world now. Maybe it was a book one day.
Maybe it was.
Once upon a time.
I mean, people know what you mean when you say open your books.
Yeah.
I think when we're ready to take clients on.
That's the words.
Yeah.
We want this to be a service we can offer, and it feels like something that should have been tried and tested.
Is that why you're doing it, you think?
That's like half the reason. I want to do this for me because I want to get to my goal weight and obviously continue on my postpartum weight loss journey and fitness journey and everything else. But I think when coaching, you should have kind of walked the walk. I feel like it's easier to coach someone once you've been through it already, or once you've kind of experienced it firsthand. You can tell somebody, yeah, I know how you feel. I felt like that on day X, or yeah, I didn't get that symptom, but I got these symptoms or whatever. So I think it's good to have done it. So yeah, we're almost at the end now. So we're going to give a quick overview of the AGGY D.
Yeah, basically an aggressive diet is just creating a bigger deficit than the traditional diet would be. For Nic, we've worked out numbers based on a calculator that we've got. But yeah, basically it's just about creating a more aggressive deficit than normal. That's kind of it, quite simplified.
I think a normal deficit, people would, on average, be expecting to lose between like, what, 1 to 2 pound a week ish.
A moderate deficit is kind of around 500 calories a day, a 500 calorie deficit, which would then give you over a week a 3,500 calorie deficit,
which is £1,
which is equal to £1 of fat, give or take. So that's why a moderate deficit is that. If you want to double that, to lose two pounds, it's 1,000 calorie deficit a day. The difference between doing just doing a simple calorie deficit, aggressive, I'm going to do 1,000 calories, which is kind of aggressive. Well, it is aggressive daily. The difference between that and like the aggressive diet is that there are certain protocols that we're trying to adhere to. It's not just, I'm going to
be low calorie.
Obviously, there are protocols that are in place that have got reasons for why they're in place. So I think the biggest proponent is that protein should be really high, as high as, it's basically you are eating just mostly protein. The reason behind that is to reduce muscle loss. When you're in a calorie deficit, you are quite likely, you can lose muscle because eventually your body's going to start taking energy from other sources. So it'll take it from potentially lean tissue. Keeping protein high just minimizes that risk. And then the rest is made up of quite a small amount of fat and carbs, but to keep you within that calorie deficit. And then we've got the refeed, but obviously we can talk about that after.
You can do this for however long, right? But we've decided to go for 30 days, which is a sustained period of time. It's enough time to kind of get into it, find a little bit of a groove, but also I've found it actually, some days it's like, well, this is so long. Like, it feels like 24 days now. In that period, we've had Remy's birthday, which is where I've kind of come away from it for a day. We had a takeaway and had birthday cake and whatever else. And the point of it is that you can still do those things if you feel like you want to, but adhering to it 100% is really difficult, but it will yield the best results. However, life doesn't always work like that, and that is totally fine. And I think if you do anything, like, to remember not to punish yourself, and it's not a punishment, it's just a way of accelerating to your goal faster than normal. And I think that was the point for me switching over to the aggressive diet, because I was just finding it so tedious to be like, oh, it's £1. Is it not £1? I don't know. Like, every week was just kind of, is it, isn't it? And this is what I was saying to you the other day about, like, having a biscuit or falling from my normal calorie deficit. The margins were quite small, so that if I did have a meal out, or, we were out drinking, or whatever it is that my calories went over, that could ruin the whole week's worth of weight loss. It'd be like, oh, I gained £2 that week, or I gained, that was a maintain this week, it wasn't a loss. If that's the kind of phase that, that I've been in the last 12 months, well, since having Remy, really, I knew that I wanted to lose some weight, but this has just been like a really nice way to mix it up and do something that I've never done before and really challenge myself. And fat loss phases, weight loss phases, calorie deficits aren't supposed to be long. And by long, I mean, they can take as long as they take, but you aren't supposed to be doing them for the rest of your life consistently, because it's not healthy.
Yeah, and I think, but if you've got a large weight loss goal, then, I mean, who knows what large is, but, you've got a significant weight loss goal that you want to achieve. The difference is that, you could take, say, I don't know, 4 months to lose a certain amount of weight, or you could do it in a month, or 6 weeks. It's like, just if you would think of a graph and just think about a rate of weight loss, you can, person A you're both going to get to the same point, but person A goes like this and the aggressive diet goes like this. So the same point is here, but the aggressive diet just gets there quicker. So you're
It's a steeper decline.
yeah, you're dieting for less amount of
For
time.
those listening on just audio.
Yeah, sorry. You're dieting for, a shorter amount of time. With that, because another added benefit of going, into an aggressive diet is that you get some of the benefits from getting into ketosis. So with that, most people find that their appetite gets completely suppressed.
I have had that.
You have found that?
I have had that, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, once you get into ketosis, which takes usually between the first 1 and 3 days, when you go in, super low carb, then you'll find that your appetite gets suppressed, which then will help when you're taxing your willpower. It's one less thing to think about. Obviously, you've got the psychological things which you can talk about. But when it comes to trying to because when it comes to weight loss, adherence is the most important thing. It's the calorie deficit that you can adhere to. So, this isn't going to work for everyone. Everyone watching this, you might think, I'm going to give it a go, and it might not work for you. I was actually quite reluctant for Nic to do it because a lot of the recommendations around this are, if you were someone that does CrossFit, probably not wise to be doing an aggressive diet. If you're just going to the gym and you're lifting, doing just general weightlifting, and it's very...
Or if you don't lift. Or if you don't exercise.
Yeah.
Like
if you don't.
It's not a prerequisite to do the AGGY Ds that you have to be exercising.
It's very similar to pregnant women advice. So it's don't do anything new. Keep your usual routine. But when it comes to this, like with your lifestyle, being busy mom of 2, going to CrossFit, at the time you were running, all these things, I was like, it's probably not right for you to do it now. And then obviously the stars kind of aligned for this time, which I felt like it has worked, and you have done amazing on it. So yeah, there's those things to think about. Obviously, like I say, we're talking about like tasking your willpower, which that's what I was talking about a second ago. So when it comes to weight loss and the aggressive diet, if hunger's out of the picture, if you haven't got to fight your urges for hunger, that's one less thing to think about. I mean, obviously you can talk about the psychological side of it, when it's not, physiological hunger, psychological in your brain. So if you want to talk about...
I think that's like the biggest battle with any type of anything, like weight loss, starting a new fitness routine, starting a strength phase. Like literally we can have inner battles in our mind about everything. And for me, over the last 24 days, first of all, I just want to say the last time I weighed in was Saturday. What day was it? Day 20? Day 20?
I'm not...
Monday. Basically, I've lost 10 pounds in 20 days. Like worked out to be 4 something kilos. It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to acknowledge, first of all, because for me to lose 10 pounds would have took, if I did well, a good 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Like losing £2 a week consistently for 5 weeks was hard.
And I think
time.
That's the thing. We're talking about consistency here.
Yeah.
Like if you were to look at your MyFitnessPal graph of weight loss and you were to say, okay, excluding this period of time, when was the last time, when was I 10 pounds heavier? And how long did that period take, and what did the graph look like? Was it like this? And by the way, that is normal, like
up and down,
sorry. I'm doing the graph thing again, up and down. But then like, even if it's like you lose 2 pounds, you gain 1 pound, you lose 2 pounds, the trajectory is still going in the right way. So again, the way you've lost weight in the past, that worked. And it's not like we're saying, oh, you can't do that.
There's totally different ways to do things as well, depending on the type of person you are, the type of lifestyle you lead. There's so many different factors. Like this isn't for everybody. No. And that isn't a slight on anybody saying you can't do this. But it is just not for everybody. If I was somebody that had a really busy social calendar, I couldn't do this. I found it terribly difficult not going out for food over a weekend, because that's something that I really like to do. And like as a family that we enjoy, something we, that's our kind of hobby. It's like going out for food. That's something we really like to do. And we've not done that to kind of save myself on this diet. But I've just felt really boring, and I felt like I've not done anything for the last month, and that's been hard. That's been the hardest thing for me. And for me, it hasn't been about hunger, because when I've wanted something, it's not been out of hunger, it's been out of habit, it's been out of, well, on a Saturday, I do normally have a drink, or on a Saturday, I do normally have a takeaway, or we have been out for a meal, or should we go for breakfast? Oh, no, we can't. Or whatever it is.
We can. It's not that you can't. It's not that you can't. You've got unconditional permission to eat. Like,
yeah,
you have. But it is about weighing up the choices. Obviously, if you just turn around... But if you go,
well, I've got unconditional permission to eat every fucking day, then you aren't doing an aggressive diet.
No, you're not. But it's that thing of being kind to yourself to say that, like you have been at stages,
yeah, definitely.
It's picking and choosing.
Like last night, I went off plan and had a totally different meal.
Yeah.
Remy's birthday, I went off plan. On Sunday, we had wine. Like, I've lived in this period of time, but there's been moments where I've felt like, oh, a bit sad, you know. But it is what it is. Like, you can't have everything when you're trying to lose weight, because that's what just keeps you the same. We're saying the best diet is the one you can adhere to. And, you know, at times adherence is really bloody hard, really hard.
Yeah.
And obviously I've tried various things over the years. You all have it on previous episodes, I've mentioned this. And just so you know, there's a daily vlog on our YouTube channel as well of the AGGY D and how I felt going through it every day and the kind of meals I've been eating. But yeah, people have seemed really interested in me doing this and kind of seem quite, I don't know, I think people are impressed by it. Do you?
Yeah, I think obviously, like, we've called it an AGGY D. That, like, I think we got that because who was the Radio 1 Extra DJ that would call the pandemic a panny D?
Oh, it's just it was everywhere. It's all of the things are shortened, aren't they?
Yeah, so anyway, it's just that I feel like that's where it's come from. But
Jenny Mac.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Platyjubes. Yeah, so it's all these things that AGGY D. It just makes sense to us. But yeah, I think like it's created a bit of interest because it's like you've named it, and I think if you name it, I think that probably makes people go, "What is this new thing?" And again, that's another thing that people need to. This is legit. Like, this isn't some sort of pill or whatever, you know, that you can take.
Yeah, I'm going to take a Zempic on the side and call it an AGGY D.
Imagine, yeah.
I'm not.
No, that's another episode. But yeah, so I think that it's been great that people have been interested, and I'm sorry that it's took so long to get this out. I think because we're both new to this, and like I've got the information and I've learned so much over the past year, and I feel like I'm gaining my confidence in being able to educate people. That's quite a weird situation for me to be in this industry, but obviously you've got to start, you know, putting yourself out there more and testing yourself.
We're doing the thing though now. Yeah,
definitely. But you do just feel like I care about what I say, and I don't want to feel like I'm saying anything. You know, people have been saying, how many calories this, how many calories that? And it's like, if I just turn around and say, well, it's this many calories, like that's specific to you. And I think we can go into some of the questions. We
did put a question box on Instagram, and we have had a handful of questions. So shall we go through some of those? Because I think we've probably covered a couple anyway.
Yeah.
Best way to calculate calorie deficit, number of calories.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of calorie calculators online where you could just, you know, find out, put your information in. Basically, it will run off a calculation that all calculators run off. Put your information in, you'll put your age, weight, and it will use a certain calculation based on that, based on your activity levels. And just a quick, easy way to do it would be if you're female, times your body weight in kilograms by 22. Then you have to choose an activity level.
Let's not go into that.
Okay, fine. That's fine. No, I will go into it a little bit. So basically, if you're sedentary, you times that number by 1.1. If you're someone like me, who I'm on my feet all day, I'm carrying doors all day, I've got a very active job, I'd give myself like a 1.6, 1.7. So I'd take that number. So for men, it's 24 times your body weight in kilos. I know this is confusing, but this is the simplest way.
Notes.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, that's a good idea. But honestly, if you just find the problem is I fall into this trap very easily. You get analysis paralysis. You want to know everything before you start. So like, I'll start when I know this. When actually, you could just, you know, one day hopefully we'll have our own calculator that we could, you know, people can input their stuff. But for now, find one online. There's many. Put in your activity levels. It will churn out a number. Go with that number. Try it out. Track if you want to track your calories.
I think that's what it's very much like trial and error. When I first started, I never had a calculator. I just kind of picked a number. Well, actually, no, I tracked what I was eating currently.
That's another good way to do it.
I started just tracking and then was like, okay, I was eating 1,800 calories, staying the same. Right, okay, I'm going to minus 100 calories off a day, whatever. See how that gets me. If that makes me lose weight, great. If it doesn't, lower it again. And just kind of, the thing is, it's a bit dodgy with the old, back and forth, but if you were to work with someone like a coach like us, then we'll be able to help you with that and help you find the right numbers, find the right place to start and stuff. But anyway, so 3,500 calories under your maintenance calories will give you 1 pound of fat loss per week.
Yeah. And then 7,700 calories. So that's, if you were to do that evenly over the week, that's 1,100 calorie deficit a day over a week would equal 1 kilo of fat loss.
Which is 2.2 pounds.
Which is 2.2 pounds.
Whatever your metric is you're working.
And again, with those calories, if you're the kind of person that's, those are my calories every day, I'm happy to do that. I will stick to those calories, great. But if you know that you've got something coming on at the weekend, we always say, bank the calories, like on Weakest Link, bank. You bank the calories.
Show our age?
Yeah, probably. It's fine.
They still are.
The wrinkles show my age.
Ramesh, it's not. We're talking about Anne. What's her face? Anne.
I didn't mention Anne. I'm talking about Ramesh. Yes, now you've aged us because we know the original host. Yeah, so, you might go, let's say your maintenance calories, effortlessly 1,800 calories is your maintenance calories. And you go, right, or not even that. Say 1,800 calories is your deficit calories. Your slight deficit. 1,800 calories is what you're going to do to lose a bit of weight. You might go, I want to take 300 calories off 3 days in that week to give myself 900 calories extra on the weekend, which then on one day would give you 2,700 calories to eat. It's just doing tools like that, planning ahead, knowing that you've got something coming up. Or if you're the type of the person that does like to track every single day you like to eat the same calories every single day, which you're kind of like that. I know you have done things in the past where you give yourself a bit of freedom, but generally, especially Monday to Friday, you like to eat the same amount of calories a day.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you'll create a bigger deficit in that you'll know, I'm going to go 1,200 calories this week because X, Y, Z. But let's say on the Saturday, you think, well, yeah, okay, if I then just stick to my deficit, I'm going to get on my weight loss target. You could delay breakfast. Don't eat breakfast. Park all your calories later in the day. Try your best to, and try and consume a high protein snack to keep your hunger levels low. And then you eat the rest of your calories in the evening. Obviously, these are just techniques that, we would give you. But yeah, so calories, it's like, get started, find something online, make a start, track. Obviously, we're going to be releasing, hopefully, we can make some content, we will be making content on how best to track.
Yeah. We use MyFitnessPal. There's other ones out there, but that's
that's if you want to track as well. You don't have to.
But that's a good way of, if you're talking about calories, you want to track, because how are you going to know?
So from my end,
doesn't really know.
If I've got a client that I know they've either outright said, I do not want to track, I've done it before, I hate it, or they're presenting things to me through talking to them, I go, you know what, tracking's probably not going to be the way to go for you. I still need to know the calories to work out my calculations to be able to get them to their goal. So even though it is about calories in, calories out, there are things you can do that are habit-based that will still, achieve fat loss. There's so many things you can do.
But you don't need to worry about calories.
The person themselves, no. But obviously with the aggressive diet, you kind of,
Well, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, that's calories.
We've answered one question. How far are we in? 20, nearly half an hour.
Okay, let's go. Are you bringing this out as a program to follow or just advice through this account? So I'm going to be releasing all the info and like how I've been feeling about it. As I say, the daily vlogs are on YouTube. There is a highlight on our Instagram page as well with little bits on. But this will be a course that we release for you to work with us, a service, a course, whatever. It'll be great for a weight loss goal. It'll be great for like a pre-holiday, a pre-wedding, a pre-whatever your event is, just to get to that. If you want to really boost your weight loss for a specific thing.
But it's a tool that you'll have in your toolkit for life.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't something that's got to be used all the time. This is very temporary.
Yes.
And
that's
again,
what I keep reminding myself.
yeah, it's just a period of time. It's just a method. It's a technique. You know, weight loss. All it comes down to calories in, calories out. No matter what anyone tells you online. I mean, it's not as simple as that. But if you achieve weight loss, that is what is happening. It's just try and think of it as like, if you believe in gravity, which if you don't, I've got nothing else to talk to you about on this. But if you do, try and treat energy balance as it is the same. It's the law of thermodynamics. So it's in, out. If you consume more than you burn, you're going to gain weight. If you consume less than you burn.
Okay. Recipes. I'm going to start posting my recipes more, but it's been very much like lean meat, veg, that's it.
Yeah.
On this diet, because obviously if I'm trying to hit around 300 calories a meal, but I've been finding that I've been able to do that with a good sized portion, and I've released some videos on that on Instagram, so check those out. I'm breastfeeding. Is doing an AGGY D even for a real short time going to be okay, or to stop first?
Yeah, so I think
first of all, I would say don't let anything stop your breastfeeding journey if you don't want it to. That's the most important thing. If you want to carry on doing that, don't let anything stop you. Anyway, carry on.
No, it's fine. I'm going to, talk as the man here about breastfeeding. Obviously, I only experienced it third person. Obviously, it's a tough thing.
Tasking.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to be able to do. You know, I was just in awe of you doing it. You know, you have to be kind to yourself in those stages when I think it's really hard, because it might be a period of time where you're not doing much other than just feeding, and maybe in those periods you're scrolling social media and you're seeing weight loss and and it's like, oh God, like I remember my body before I had a child or whatever. You know, you're probably thinking all these things, and I think like you got to first of all like be kind to yourself. Like this is just a period of time, and it's a magical, amazing period of time, and maybe try your best to focus on that. I know that's difficult to hear, maybe,
because breastfeeding, there's never been a hunger like it. So I think around that you can make smart choices, but sometimes you don't want to. Like I didn't want to all the time when I was breastfeeding. Like the thought of having veggies and chicken, it just wasn't appealing at the time. When I'd been up all night feeding, doing this, that, and the other, it was really difficult. Anyway, back to the question, because we're just going off on a tangent on breastfeeding.
Yeah, sorry. So, I mean, again, it is kind of like person specific though, whereby you can definitely lose weight whilst breastfeeding. That's fine. Like the biggest thing to try and maintain is your hydration levels. That's going to, be the thing that affects your supply. But then anything else around that, it's like, it's normal weight loss advice. It's like, try and keep a high protein diet. That's going to keep you more satiated. So feelings of fullness, which will then help you adhere to the calorie deficit that you've given yourself. I
probably wouldn't recommend an AGGY D though.
No, sorry. In answer to your question, I wouldn't recommend AGGY D. Again, this is...
You can do a calorie deficit, but I just wouldn't go ridiculously low. Just take it a steady approach to it while you're in this phase. If
you find that maybe you're noticing that you're gaining weight during this breastfeeding phase, and like you say, the hunger's out of control, and you're like, oh God, I just want to take control. I need to do something to stop this train running away. Then it could be to, set yourself a small deficit, maybe moderate deficit, focus on your hydration. And then, you could it's like you could follow along with the recipes that you're eating, include those in your diet, and just try and get...
it's just making smarter choices when you can, especially when it's like moderate deficit, because actually I now, having done the AGGY D, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all those calories when I get them back? Because I've been totally fine a day on these low calories. I mean, not totally fine, but like mostly fine. Like I'm getting in 2 good meals and a snack, possibly 2, depending on how I split the calories. Like, I'm not starving. I'm not going hungry. I'm not going without. It's not like I'm sitting here drinking shakes, doing nothing. So when I add back in like double the amount of calories, I'm going to be like, whoa, what the hell?
That's where coaching comes in.
And that's where having a coach to teach you how to go forth after this and without, you just slipping back into your old ways and regaining the weight, because otherwise you're in a perpetual cycle. And I think gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, like how many of us have been there? And I'm telling you now, this is the last time I'm doing this. This is the last time I'm going to gain the weight again. Like I've gained, since losing the weight, I got pregnant and gained it. I didn't ever gained it all back, but I gained some back, lost it, got pregnant with Remy, and now I've nearly lost it all again. So, and I'm really proud of that. And I don't plan on going back up again. I don't want to be that yo-yo dieter. I'm going to learn how to live, and I'm going to be able to teach you guys how to live going forward without having to gain it back. But also you can still, I'm looking forward to like getting my life back. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to go back up to 15 stone.
No, I mean, over the years, you've gained some really healthy habits that I think are just going to protect you from that. Obviously, there are understandable reasons for the weight gain, even the original weight gain in the past. We've gone about that before with injuries and whatnot. So I think that the fact that you like to be active, you enjoy sport, you've found a sport that you enjoy, you like lifting weights, all these things are going to help you. You know how to make good choices, but you also know how to live and enjoy yourself, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, but that's where I think a lot of people might need help after, and that's where our service is going to come in.
Coaching to live.
Really handy. Okay, are we going to talk about my specific calories or no?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay. So the AGGY D is very aggressive, and it will hurt a lot of people's soul to hear these numbers. So don't take these as, oh my God, I need to do that, or oh my God, I don't know how you're doing that, or oh my God, that's so unhealthy, because I'm doing it under a nutritionist's advice, okay?
So come at me.
Yeah. So come at my guy over here, because I've lost 10 pounds in 20 days. Anyway, so I'm on 730 calories a day. It's really a fun time. BMR is lower. My maintenance calories are probably on the lower side anyway. So I think that perhaps not everybody would be as low. Some people may be lower. It's going to be
some people
and
will be
around.
lower, some people will be higher to lose a certain amount of weight. So yeah, it's all about like your body has a maximal amount of fat that it can offer up into your blood, then into the mitochondria to be burned for energy. Like that is, it only has a maximum amount. You can go more aggressive, but you have to be okay with losing muscle, because no matter how much, because then if you're going to reduce your calories, you are going to reduce your protein intake, which in turn is going to obviously produce muscle loss. So you can do that, like if you wanted to do that, if you're happy with that. It's all about what you're happy with. And I think that for you, I think we chose a number whereby it is allowing for potentially a bit of muscle loss, but we're able to keep protein high.
It's been like, my protein has been slightly lower than my normal protein, and I eat a high protein diet. Like I'm still hitting around, well, to be fair, it's been a bit lower than it targeted, but it's been between 100 and 120 grams of protein per day that I've been hitting still in those calories. What's gone is fat. Fat's gone off the menu, too many calories. So I don't have any oil, I don't have any avocado, I don't have any nuts, no peanut butter, no. Are you speaking from experience?
I just wanted to say these nuts. That's what I wanted to say. And I did say, I tried to refrain from saying it, which is why I laughed at myself like an absolute child. Anyway.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. So fat's gone, carbs are low. I'm not having any carbs as in pasta, rice, potatoes. They're generally not on the menu. My carb sources are coming from veggies, not even fruit, to be fair. Low fat, 0% Greek yogurt, protein powder like whey protein, having lean meat, chicken breast, chicken sausages, egg whites. Yeah, I'm not eating the yolks, it's too much calories. Chopped tomatoes are amazing. Veggies.
Turkey mince
I've had once. Bassa fish I've had once. Yeah, those are mostly what I've been eating, really. Anyway, so that's the calories. I know it's very low. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. few more days left, and then we've got the refeed. So stay tuned because we'll do another video on that. Purely out of curiosity, why is it called an AGGY D? That's just because we're cool. Will it be suitable for women with PCOS?
Yeah, the advice for women with PCOS would be the same as any other woman. Obviously, when it comes to specific things you can do with PCOS, like there are things that you can do within an overall diet that can help you. It depends on what your symptoms are. If you're struggling with insulin resistance, one of the biggest levers you can pull in order to help with your insulin resistance is weight loss. That will make you more insulin sensitive. Lifting weights will make you more insulin sensitive.
Those two things for me personally have been just incredible for my PCOS. I've still got some symptoms, irregular periods and chin hairs, but overall for someone with PCOS, I do feel PCOS.
It's funny. I know you've got PCOS, but I didn't even think you've got PCOS and you're doing an aggressive diet. Yeah, so it's fine. There's a living proof that it's totally fine. Yeah, so, but like when it comes to PCOS, there's so many different diets you can follow, this. I know. But the most important thing I just want to stress, weight loss. That's it. However you achieve that, whether it be aggressive diet, moderate deficit, weight loss.
Energy levels. So my energy levels on the whole have been okay. I've had a handful of wobbles. Check the vlogs. Yesterday I was in low mood, low energy. I've needed one lie-in this whole time. You know, we have bad sleep. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll be aware of this. You know, we don't have the most consistent sleep. We do have 2 small children who I'm with every day. So yeah, it's a lot. But generally, energy levels perhaps slightly lower than normal. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
No, I was just smiling because it was the way you said I'm with them every day. And I'm like, oh no, can you believe it? They live here. God, and they don't leave. Oh. Oh. The cheek.
What does it mean? I want to start. Stay tuned. I'll pop a link in description box, show notes, depending on what platform you're on, but to come and sign up to our mailing list because you will get all the details on our wait list for when we open the doors. So stay tuned and sign up to the mailing list. Recipes, how do you curb a sweet tooth? I think that is I don't know whether you know anything sciencey about sweet tooth, but from a person with a sweet tooth, if you want to curb it, it's literally got to be sheer willpower.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are things you can do to do it. Obviously, yeah, willpower is a massive thing.
You've got to want to do it. You've got to have the willpower, but you can make swaps. So if you go for biscuits or sweets or whatever, try and swap to fruit. Or we have like Diet Coke and stuff like that.
That's what I was going to say.
Squash, sugar-free squash.
0 calorie drinks that are sweet. That, you know,
they're a really good tool.
Curb your cravings. We're not going to go into the Diet Coke. Oh, aspartame. They're fine.
Aspartame.
You can have them. Aspartame. Anyway, yeah.
Do you exercise while on the diet? I am. I mean, I'm not doing as much as I am normally. I'm trying like once or twice a week at the moment, and then just walking when I can because the weather's been absolutely whack lately. Yeah. So, as you said earlier, you can do what you were doing before. Wouldn't recommend starting anything new. If you feel your energy levels are dipping, perhaps pull back on your exercise a little bit. Just do what you feel comfortable with in the time, really. But it isn't, you know, you don't have to exercise to do the AGGY D. Like for it to work, it's not part of it at all. I
think if you're going to do this before and without us, you know, monitoring your symptoms is going to be really important as well. Just monitoring your mood, how you generally how you feel, your energy levels, what your workouts were like, just things like that are worth doing. Even monitoring your step count, because you might find that you adapt to the lower calorie diet by preserving energy. So your movement might drop, which will be there to compensate the lower calories, which could affect your weight loss. So if you know roughly about the steps you do every day, just, you know, at least if you can try to maintain that whilst in the deficit, that's going to benefit you. If you notice that you're not doing the things you were doing before, or you're resting more, these things are ways of your body conserving energy. So those things could be detrimental to your weight loss. So yeah, just trying to keep up with steps is just it's the easiest metric you can give. It's not a feeling. It's not, because like, you know, if you go super low calories, you start to lose things like hand gestures, fidgeting. Your facial tone goes like this. Your body just adapts to it. So those things are very difficult to track and know. So steps, you know, keeping an eye on steps is important.
But a couple of people have asked, like, what's the plan after? And then someone's put, why is the refeeding stage important, and how many calories will that be set for? So straight after the 30 days for me, I'm doing a refeed. That can be done in several ways, can't it? But we're going to do it over 3.
Yeah, you can do it in
days.
one super aggressive day or over 3 days. Yeah, I think it was about 2,400 calories from memory. So
no fat,
zero
lots
fat.
of carbs.
Yeah, so I'll try and keep this as quick and short as possible.
Just why is it important?
So it's important that basically you're going to have some metabolic adaptation.
Meaning that your body now burns less calories because you're consuming less calories.
Yes, but like I was saying a second ago, it's not just like this thing that you can't physically understand. It's like your facial tone drops. You don't want to fidget as much. It's little things like decisions. You might not play with your kids if you've got children, or play with your dog.
Yeah.
You might just, it's not a conscious decision. You just like, oh, I can't be bothered, or your steps lower every day. So that's your body's way of metabolically adapting. So you might, during this period, like Nic's had like slight low moments, feeling like, oh, I can't be bothered or whatever. The refeed is to, get your metabolic adaptation, move further away from that essentially, and to get you feeling like good again, feeling good about life, giving you some energy, maybe, smash a workout, start to feel better about yourself. There'll be, so with it's extremely high carbs, very little fat. So those calories are coming from the same, probably similar amount of protein. Maybe protein might go up a little bit, but carbs are going to just ramp up completely. Zero fat, well, not zero fat, but as close to as zero as possible, because it's very hard to be zero. The reason for that is basically when you overfeed above your maintenance, it's dietary fat that gets stored as fat. It's very hard for carbohydrates to be stored as body fat. It does eventually happen, but it takes a lot. If Nic was to eat some fat on those days, all that would get stored as body fat. And
yeah, unfortunately, that means no pizza.
Yeah, so these are things people think refeed. Oh, yes. But unfortunately, you'll find that fat and carbs go hand in hand.
It's a tactical refeed.
Yes, so it's going to be just carbohydrates, bit of protein.
Stay tuned for the vlog. Be like a mukbang of just carbs.
Yeah, just carbs.
Here's me eating more oats.
With jam.
Jam and oats.
It's actually interesting for us to just try and find enough food and food variety for you to eat on those days that are going to, get you to 400 grams of carbs, which is a lot of carbs.
Yeah, we did try and work it out the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
Within the low fat, high carbs. This is something that you have to be prepared for, like the whole aggressive diet. You can't just wing it every day. You have to kind of have a little bit of a plan going forward. Be prepared with your shopping, perhaps be prepared with meal prep. And the same for the refeed as well. It's not something you could just walk in and be like, right, where am I going to get 2,500 calories from and 400 grams of carbs today with no fat? That just doesn't happen.
I just want to quickly say as well, like doing this low calories, most people go, oh, it's dangerous, whatever, it's going to damage your metabolism. It's just not going to damage your metabolism. There's going to be some metabolic adaptation, like we've said, but they are coming from things like that, physiological things.
And it can come back. It's something that it's not like not salvageable. No.
We're talking about small changes anyway, and we've only done it for a set period of time. But this refeed is there for that reason. It's to get the system going again, get the body used to consuming more calories. The overfeed, so again, there's going to be some.
So I'll be in a surplus, so the weight will go back up after that.
Yes, there'll be some weight regain. That is going to be intestinal food in the gut from the food you're eating. Then there's going to be the storage of those carbohydrates back into your liver and your muscles, stored as glycogen. With that, for every 1 gram comes 3 to 4 grams of water. So there's going to be water weight as well. So if we're talking about 400 grams of carbohydrate, then potentially, let's just do it by 3, there's going to be another 1.2 kilos
of just water.
With those carbohydrates stored.
So we'll definitely like take pictures and stuff on that and just see if there's that noticeable.
So yeah, it's positive. This is the thing, a positive weight regain.
Yeah.
So you might go, oh yeah, but
The scales,
I'm adding 3 kilos onto my weight loss. But it's you've not gained fat.
Yeah.
You're not regaining fat. You're just putting it into lean tissue and in your liver. That's it.
I think people always like think, oh well, I've only lost the water, I only lost this, that and the other to start with, and that is where like people that start a new diet or whatever will sometimes get a big drop.
It's motivating.
But no, I was going to say I actually have changed. Like if it was only the water that we've manipulated over these last 30 days, then like my pictures are showing that I have lost weight. My clothes don't fit anymore. Like how many pairs of trousers have I literally just gone, I just look stupid wearing them now. And this has changed so dramatically in the last few days, in the last week, out of nowhere, when like, from what I can recall, the last time I was wearing them, they fitted me perfectly. And now there's like inches of room in the legs and around the waist. Like, it is just crazy. It is actually... I was a non-believer to start with. I was so sceptical that this wasn't going to work. And I'm the kind of person, if something's not going to work, it's not going to work on me. And I was like, well, I need to try it. I need to know what we're getting into. And I was worried that it wouldn't work. And I had my reservations about it. And I have had my ups and downs with it throughout this journey as well, because it is really hard and it isn't easy. Like, the weight has come off because I've adhered mostly to it. Some days I've been eating more towards 800 calories, 820. Some days that's happened multiple days throughout this month, plus Remy's birthday, the day I had the takeaway, and cake over that weekend. But yeah, I overall I couldn't be more pleased with it. I honestly couldn't. It has been a long time. Like, I think if I was going to do it again, would I do 30 days? I don't know, because I think I'd know what I was getting myself into, and it is a really long period of time. But say like, oh, after Christmas, I feel like I've gained a bit of weight, I want to get back on the train, maybe I'll do a 2 weeks blast of it and see if I can lose that Christmas weight that might have otherwise taken, I don't know, a month, 2 months to lose again, depending on how much you gain. But yeah, like, we did a video around Remy's birthday. We talked about how I weighed the day after Remy's birthday and I'd gained like 1 kilo on the scales. When you eat a certain way and then you weigh in and you've gained, the chances are that is just water weight, intestinal weight, those things. Because to have gained that much weight, I would have had to eat 7,700
calories over your maintenance.
7,000.
Yeah, 7,700 calories.
Oh, 7,700.
In one day, over your maintenance calories.
Over my maintenance
so
calories.
Not over your aggressive diet calories, over your maintenance calories.
So like 9,000 calories plus a day.
Yeah,
That day. And you were like, did you eat 9,000 calories today? I was like, no.
So you've not gained 1 kilo of fat?
So you didn't gain 1 kilo of fat. And then the day after I weighed again, or 2 days after I'd weighed again, and I was back down to the same weight as I was that Friday morning. So yeah, just to show you that weight fluctuations do happen, but it isn't always fat, and it isn't always bad weight, and it isn't always, like the end of the world. And I think just having that relationship with the scales, and that it isn't always negative, or, it's not negative, and everything is changeable. You can step in, step out, and do this whenever you think it's right for you, and it can be done in the most healthiest way. Yeah,
well, it's just a tool. It's just a tool for you to use.
I think I've been so scared to talk about weight loss for so long because of the way the media is, because everyone like was one way, and then diet culture came, and everyone went the other way, and then it was like, oh God, what can and can't you say now? But this is my life. Like, if I was like, I wanted to be fitter, but then you feel bad going, I want to lose the weight, but it makes me feel bad for the people that don't want to lose the weight, and it's like, oh, I don't know where to position myself in all of this. So yeah,
I think it's okay to like love yourself in the moment. Like, I feel like that's really important. I know it's difficult for some people, but
I always have.
Yeah, but you only have literally now. Like, you don't have a future self, a past self. It's just now. Like, this is who you are, wherever you're at in your journey. Like, you've got to learn to try and love yourself however possible. And I think like body positivity movement for that, like where you're at now, I think great. However, it's okay to want to be
change.
Yeah, different in any which way. You know, if you want to lose weight for you, amazing. Like if you want to better yourself, brilliant. Like we should champion that. We should accept people, and people can be healthy at every size. But if you want to, you know, achieve something, you're going to have to work for it, and you're going to have to say, yes, I do want to be better. I do want to lose weight. You know, that and be okay with that. It's fine. You don't need to be shamed into either way of the spectrum where you're at or where
really
you want to
hard,
be,
isn't it? But yeah, to sum up, I am really pleased with it all, and having been a non-believer,
I'm a believer. Is there any more questions? Oh, there was a lot.
How to avoid temptations when hungry.
Food prepped.
Being organised, having meals prepped, snacks prepped, and I also like to plan my day out in MyFitnessPal first as well, so I know what I can and can't have. Because the worst thing you can do is get to the end of the day and go, well, I've got 12 calories left, and you can't get anything for that. Trust me, I've tried. But also if it's earlier in the day, hitting caffeine.
We've not talked about that, have we?
Caffeine is a really good tool.
Caffeine is, on a small level, it can be an appetite suppressant. So utilising it where you can. Nick, at the moment, will have... What's your caffeine intake like? Like, what does it look like on an average day?
Coffee as soon as I wake up. Coffee...
Fish and a rice cake.
2 hours after that. The first week I didn't have milk, but the second week I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm happy to spend 20 calories a day on a bit of milk. Like 3 coffees a day.
Yeah.
And then a couple of cups of tea, and then probably a Diet Coke. Because I'm only allowed 1 Diet Coke a day.
That's the rules. No, I don't set these rules.
This is my own mental...
Yeah, obviously
rules.
trying to like not have your caffeine too late in the day, just because of the half-life. Not going to go into that, but it'll affect sleep.
I won't have
quality.
it. I won't have a coffee after
Some
2,
days,
3. 3 is late.
Yeah.
To hit a coffee.
Well, if you have a coffee at 3, and let's say it's
I thought you weren't going to go into it.
I know, 150 milligrams quickly. It's got a half-life of 4 to 6 hours. So let's say at 9 o'clock you've still got 75 milligrams in your system.
Mate,
Might be why you're struggling to sleep.
I've always got caffeine in my system.
Yeah, well, that's where you could cycle it if you wanted to, day on, day off. Anyway, yeah, or 1 day off a week.
Okay, the last hater comment.
Oh, there's a more.
I ate 800 calories a day immediately after giving birth to lose weight, and it worked. Any reason you waited? Well, actually, I tried to dip into a calorie deficit about 6 weeks after having Remy, maybe even before that. Nightmare, mate. Absolute nightmare. It just was not the right time for me at all.
No.
I was sleep deprived. I was a new mom of 2. Well, I've done it both times around, but I was starving, hungry, thirsty, aggy, unrested,
Hormones all over
slightly
the
depressed the second time around. Just not okay to be in a calorie deficit, let alone an AGGY D.
Yeah, no. I just wouldn't have suggested it. I mean, if you've got results doing that, good for you. Amazing. I wouldn't, in my position, would never recommend a pregnant woman or a postpartum lady doing that.
Well, you've got to do it when it's right for you. Amazing that you could do it, but yeah, I didn't want to. Like, it's been really hard. Yeah. It's been really hard to do it now, let alone like just after giving birth.
Yeah.
Got bigger things to think about.
Yeah.
My vagina being on fire. Yeah, don't have to worry about that now.
What a thought. Any other questions?
No, that's more... Well,
I don't want to feel like we've missed any though, because
I don't think...
They'll get lost into the ether.
Eating in the day, like I said, it's usually 2 meals and a snack, maybe 2. How do you do it while also having family meals? Well, I generally cook for the boys separate anyway. My meals are definitely separate. Tonight we had the same meal. So we had like a minced beef curry type thing, and you had normal rice. I had cauli rice. That was the difference.
And I put nuts on top.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So I like, it's quite... I think like I find it quite easy. I like those meals. I'm really, it's great. Full of veg, lean protein, not a problem. Then I'll just add a carb sauce and a fat sauce.
Yeah.
Whether that be a bit of olive oil or whatever.
And we could have done that for the boys as well, but it was a bit spicy for them.
Yeah.
But we've eaten this way for a really long time, whereas like we'll make one meal and you'll have it one way and I'll have it another way.
Or I'll just have a bigger portion.
Yeah, that was really difficult for me to get over to start with because I love big portions of food.
Yeah, it's that. I think that is triggering. It's difficult because like that's just, again, it's just understanding genetics and lifestyle and where you're at. And unfortunately, you know, in our relationship, it's calorie burn is different, and that's just it's the cards, in it. But
yeah,
I burn easy.
Yeah, and you do more than me a day, probably. But yeah, that's more or less. I think we've covered everything. I hope that has been insightful. I'm sorry that it's been such a long video, but there's been a lot to say.
Yeah, I feel like, well, hopefully people have got some stuff out of it. I'm like, I want to talk about nutrition. And I know you have to rein me back in because not everyone cares as much about the sciencey stuff. So,
but that's what we're here for. We are, you know, living the life. You're a nutritionist, done your exams, we're waiting on the results. How very exciting.
Ooh.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll film results.
Yeah, definitely film it.
Like you open in the email?
Yeah, well, I thought that we'd do that, definitely.
Like the pregnancy test. Film everything else.
It's a fail.
If we don't post anything, you know what happened.
No, we're real, babe. We'll share our real life, you know, ups and downs.
Down in the AGGY D. Anyway, thank you for being here. We'll
I've enjoyed this again. It's been too long.
It is 9:30 p.m. now. So far after our bedtime. I've enjoyed. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, like, share, do the thing, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll remind them again about the email list below.
Sign up to our email list.
Get on the waiting list, and hopefully, well, no, we will be sorting something out for the new year.
And we can be your new coach.
Creepy.
Join us.
One of us, one of us. Okay, bye-bye.